Hi, greetings. It's me, Dr. Paul Gerhardt, and this is a video to help you do better formatting APA 7th edition. There's been a lot of changes from the APA 6th edition to 7th edition. I'll try to talk about each of those changes and then some of the nuances of APA. I highly suggest that you take notes along the way because when you're paying attention and taking notes and then pausing and rewinding, the information has a better chance of sticking with your brain. Most colleges and universities, especially in the business and social sciences, use APA formatting as a standard for grading, and the purpose of this video is to help you understand some of those nuances. Please feel free to pause and rewind as needed. So what you're looking at right now is a APA paper that was published on the Purdue OWL website. And so I will try to leave a link to this paper so you can have access to it. But I simply found it by Googling APA 7th edition paper PDF Purdue OWL. And what you see here is the cover page, and what you'll see on the right-hand side in the goldish tan colored writing is some of the ideas that you need to understand about what's on the paper, why things are the way they are. You'll notice that APA 7th edition does not have a running head, but you still have page numbers in the top right-hand corner. Of course, the margins of your paper are 1 inch top, bottom, and both sides. So make sure that you're setting your paper up with 1 inch margins all the way around, and that you insert page numbers using Microsoft Word insert page number feature and make it at the top. So there's no running head. You'll notice about 3/4 down the page is the heading or is the title of your paper, and it is all in bold with major words capitalized. And then triple spaces down, you'll notice your name. If you're working with team members, you could put your team names there in alphabetical order. Uh, then the college or university, then the class number, then your professor name, and then the date that the paper was due. All right, so you can pause and read the comments in the margins here. So going on, you will notice that this is page 2, and it does not have a running head, and it does not use the word introduction. And you'll notice the comment here, there should be no introduction header. So do take time to pause and read these comments here on the side. But what they did do is they used the title of the paper over the first paragraph. It is already assumed that the first paragraph or paragraphs is the introduction. Generally speaking, we don't like using direct quotes in papers. So unless your professor tells you otherwise, paraphrase in your own words. The only time that you should use direct quotes in papers, in academic papers, is when the author is famous or when changing the wording would change the meaning or feeling. Otherwise, read the articles or publications that you are getting insight from, that you're writing about, then close those articles and paraphrase in your own words key ideas and then cite properly. One thing about the way that they cited these, there should be a space after every period. But do notice that in APA in-text citations, if there's two authors, they use an ampersand and then a comma, a space, and then the date of the publication. Generally speaking, you want to use articles that have been written in the last 5 to 10 years. The more recent, generally speaking, the better it is. So whenever you are citing a direct quote, if you're using direct quotes properly, you need to make sure that you're using a page number. So there's a lot of different ways to use in-text citations, and I've got a video on YouTube about how to do in-text citations. But notice that the author of this paper has cited several different publications and authors. And then the period goes before the end. There's not a period before the in-text citation. It's a common mistake that I see in a lot of papers, is students are putting a period before the in-text citation when it really needs to go only afterwards. So, and you'll notice that this is an in-text citation in the middle of the paragraph, so the comma goes after the in-text citation. So the really good APA papers use headings. Like level 1 headings should be bold and centered with major words capitalized. Those headings should represent key ideas from the grading rubric. What is the professor looking for? Well, if they're asking for demographic information, make sure the heading that says demographic information is a level 1 heading, bold and centered with major words capitalized. Um, do notice some of the different nuances of how the author of this paper cited their resources. So you'll notice Galbraith et al., 2012, and Boring et al., 2017. That means that those references, when we look back in the reference section, should have more than 3 authors, and the first author listed in the references is the one that goes here, and then et al. Means the others, and then the date of the publication. So do notice how it's the last name of the first author, et al., et space al, period, comma, space, and then date. And because this particular author of this paper has cited 2 different things, you're using a semicolon for the other publication that the author is citing here. So same thing with this. This Darwin 2012 is one publication, and then this Marginson 2009 is another publication with just one author in each, and so they've separated those with a semicolon and then a comma because it's in the middle of the paragraph. So do take time to read the comments here in the margins. Of course, your paper won't have these huge margins with comments in it. You'll just have 1-inch margins. But for the purpose of this video, I'm asking you to read these. So you'll notice there's a level 1 heading over a level 2 heading. The level 1 heading is literature review because it's a major section. And then a subcategory is effective teaching and contextual construct, and that's left justified with major words capitalized. And so this level 2 heading is subordinate to this level 1. So this effective teaching, a contextual construct, is going to be a review of the literature related to effective teaching. So hopefully you see how this is a level 3 heading. This level 3 heading is still left justified with major words capitalized. In this case, there's only one word, but it is subordinate to this level 2 heading. So it's related to effective teaching, and this one is meta-analysis. So again, here's an in-text citation in the middle. There's no periods on either end because it's in the middle of the paragraph, but it is citing the source. So whenever you have data or content that's related to the paper, some insights that you would pull up out of the research literature, you have to cite it. And so that's exactly what this author did. And then you'll notice because there's a level 3 heading here, there's another level 3 heading that's related to that one. And then it's a subcategory of this level 2 heading still. So you got to have the correct layering. You can't have a level 3 heading without a level 2 heading, and you can't have a level 2 heading without a level 1 heading, and the level 2 heading is related to the level 1 heading. So again, here's a level 3 heading that's related to that level 2 heading. And again, it's left justified, bold, and in italics. So you'll notice there are several different publications. So almost every paragraph in your research papers should have an in-text citation in there, at least one. It's even better when it has two. So do take a look at the spacing. You know, there should be a space after the periods. Um, this one has made mentions the author here, this neat 1996, and then showing that relationship with that neat 1996. This author has put page numbers in here and then finally a period. So do look where the periods are. So again, it really is best to avoid using direct quotes in papers. It's a really good idea to close the article and then cite key ideas of your paper, you know, giving a good example. You know, the best paragraphs introduce the topic, then support that idea, then summarize, and then fold into the next, kind of tie into the next. So here's another level 3 heading. Again, it's left justified, bold, and in italics with major words capitalized, so it's a level 3 heading. Here's an example of when the author actually pulled a whole paragraph of direct quotes. So you'll notice the paragraph is indented and it's left justified indented with a 1 inch half an inch indentation after the 1 inch margin. And then the exceptions to the rule for where the period goes is with this direct quote in-text citation, so you can read, and that's a quote longer than 40 words. So generally speaking, you want to avoid using direct quotes. You need to be the author of your paper. So in this case, this Knock person published two similar articles, one in 2007 and one in 2009. So here's a level 1 heading. So here's another major section of the paper. So that level 1 heading is bold and centered, and major words are in italics. Here's a level 3 heading. It's related to this level 1 topic. There really should be a level 2 heading after that. So this is a good example of what not to do. Here's an example of how they inserted a table. Make sure you pause and read the comments here on the left. And then going into the references. So references should be on their own page. You'll notice that references have the authors' last names, but only their initials. We don't use authors' first names. We don't use authors' credentials. Publication titles are in italics. We have what's called the DOI number and website address, and then uh, the issue number and the volume number. So do take a look at where the comma is. You notice that the publication title, not the article title, but the publication title is in italics. Likewise, book titles are in italics. And so do take a look at how they did the volume number and issue number and then page number. And then, of course, the publication title is in italics. So essentially, those you'll notice that the references are in alphabetical order too. So a lot of things for you to consider, and then here's what an appendix looks like in this example. An appendix goes towards the end of the paper. Anyway, I hope this video has been helpful. I highly recommend that you download the PDF, search for it on Google, and then read the comments in the margins, or watch the video again and take notes as you are reading the comments in the margin. Hope this has been a helpful video. I appreciate your time, and I hope that you have a great day, because only you get to choose how you feel about it. I'm Dr. Paul Gerhardt.